Hi, I am going to use Trish James' deck, the predictions deck, um, on a deep dive on Elon and what he can expect uh, coming to him for all the chaos he's been sowing. You can't go out there and sow this much chaos and not have some consequences come back to you. So there's already people now that are filing to sue and so on and so forth because he's been acting like he's king through Trump. So he is clearly drunk on power, forgetting who he is and where he is. And he thinks he can get away with this. And I just want to see if he's going to get a reality check and not the kind that he can put in his bank account. I just want to see what's ahead for him because he's so reckless and he doesn't clearly care, I guess. Does he watch the footage of himself and ever see that they're catching him looking stoned out of his head? Does he not feel a bit embarrassed or does he not care? He should be embarrassed. He looks foolish and unhinged. So, what's coming for him? Stirring up all these nations and interfering and trying to act like eeny, meeny, miny, mo, I'll buy which one of you I want to because I'm a corporate uh, welfare queen that's rich, quote unquote, because they take out huge loans. It's not because they're wealthy per se, but on paper. Anyway, so to speak. So, what is the karma he's accruing? When's it coming? Will we get to see any of it? And like I said, we already kind of are. People are responding by filing suits and so on. But I want to know if we're going to get to witness some karmic consequences here. Because he's already offended MAGA, who he does not care about, and frankly looks down upon. I think they know that. Some of them, anyway. So what is karmic? And I'm asking my guides to help me to read accurately and clearly. Just got done doing a live, so a 3 hour live. So, but I felt like I needed to create these videos and I have the energy, so I'll do it. Um, but I want to go a little deeper than I was able to in the live that I did. Um, Like with Elon, what is the karma that is coming back that we will get to see? Because he's out of control. What do we need to watch and beware of? Asking my guides, my spiritual mentors in divine love. Okay, let's see what we get. And again, this is the predictions deck by Trish James. Experiment or test? Okay. Makes me think maybe in connection to his business of Tesla and the Tesla trucks, so on, so forth. All right. And SpaceX. Corrupt dealings, straight up corrupt dealings, and perhaps in declaration of testing things, um, maybe in some way to say that they are up to code or up to a safety regulation that we do need and shouldn't be just thrown out. There's going to be some exposure of corrupt dealings within his businesses, I believe. And I believe that includes the dealings that he's doing with Donald Trump right now and what he is doing. He is not an elected official. Everything that he's declaring should be ignored. And Trump's crazy set of EOs aren't all legal either because many of them require Congress. Anyways, so he's going to be shown out here because I'm asking about things coming back to him that he's put out there, and it's showing corrupt dealings, and it says experiment or test, and there's a little guy in a lab coat, and so I'm thinking it's to do with probably design and uh, Tesla, SpaceX. There's some kind of corrupt dealings in there. And there's the card of stay put. He might want to run off, but he's going to have to stay put. Because I say that because there are balloons there, and it almost, what are these? It looks like this person wants to use them to float away. Stay put. Maybe this is also about not looking high all the time. Grounded. I gotta think maybe as well, because he's looked out of it. I think there's a meaning that way for sure. Perhaps having to get more with it, be more sober. All for money. Literally, it's what it says. Look at this. All for money. And that's why the only reason he's here. He's here for the cash grab. And if he was truly rich, You don't see Warren Buffett doing this crap. He wouldn't be out there doing this. He's wealthy because he's taking out really significant loans and he's been fiddling. But he's here to help himself to our country's money. And commercial airline. Let me just clear my throat. And rocket SpaceX. So these are things that are apparently going to come back and bite him in the butt. Something with commercial airlines and his rockets and SpaceX. And you know how I wonder if he's going to say, "Oh, I can solve the problem," with for the problem with the airplanes, or he's going to it could be him offering up his theory or some sort of crap. Maybe he's I don't know, maybe he's going to say we don't need uh people in the towers, who knows. Replace or exchange. That makes me uncomfortable. He might be saying that we need to replace the commercial airlines with his air, something of his design, perhaps, with that commercial airlines and SpaceX. And maybe that is something he's going to try and leverage. Um, Prepare, stock up. Classified knowledge. Looks like he's stocking up on our classified knowledge. He's helping himself to stuff he has no business seeing. I hate this, but I'm glad to see that this is in his karma and being exposed for these things, that it's all about money, and he's helped himself to classified knowledge, contributing to societal collapse, causing others hardship in society, and a food shortage. Yeah, that hasn't hit us quite yet. But, this whole thing with immigration and what they have done and messed up our economy by sending these people out, they're people going to know. There's an uprising that's coming and a rebellion because of him in society, and we're starting to see it now. And there are people that need assistance and help. These are the people that are on benefits that he's going to cut or is cutting and has cut. So this is people demanding help and demanding their benefits, I believe, and demanding, I think, that Trump do something, quote unquote, those that believed in him, if they still do. If not, there's going to be just people uprising and to do with their benefits and Social Security, I'm sure, and you know, their Medicare, all the benefits, health and otherwise. And Social Security is not for them to mess with. That's what people have earned. That is not anything, of course, that they should be touching. But look, he's acting like he's the king, holding power like a spoiled little brat. And he even has his projection in Trump saying that he's king. Well, Trump saying that Trump is king. Now, Trump must be wanting, I think, saying that also to assert some of it over Elon. Elon doesn't think he's just a tool. There's changes coming though, and this is in connection to having this power that he has right now. So, as I did ask about his karma, what's going to come as an uprising of the American people, it's showing up because he's putting his paws where they don't belong into our finances and our benefits and screwing up things to the point that people are dying, um, not having things that they should have. So there's changes coming to him, I think, being seen at least so much. Trump is, he's going to have to, it's going to become a real problem here because he's not going to want to step back. And it's going to, I think, get bad enough that he's not well liked, that Trump may even ask him to kind of not be as visible, that it's people are responding to that. And I don't know how well that'll go over. I get drone strike. I hope that this is not something that is a distraction. Solution to the problem. No, it's not. But hopefully it's indicative of some sort of, not like a literal drone strike, but just targeting what is, you know, him being there. I don't know. And solution to the problem. It might be that he's going to suggest something radical like a drone strike. I don't know. He could go right out there. I think he's just not, he's not okay. He's spiraling. And I do see changes coming to, like I said, him maintaining his position there. And it could be that people behind the scenes will be figuring out how to get rid of him. And not necessarily literally, but how they can, like I said, either push him to they can't get him to agree to, they're all afraid of him. But I think that this could be another behind the scenes power that could act, because it feels like Elon's got a target on him, or he will have a target on him here. And that is what I feel the most. And it may not necessarily be a drone strike, but just that people are going to be after him, um, because they realize if they get rid of him, they're not going to be having perhaps as much being trashed and taken away. Okay, let's just see what else is coming his way. Rescue revived military plane. Hmm, that's interesting. There could be a military plane and some kind of rescue. Maybe a military plane will have to come to the rescue because of him, or there could be an issue where there's a military plane that's needing rescue or coming to rescue. I'm getting cyber attack. That's making me think of his own folks, and I get battle warship. This feels like it could be from another source. They might be seeing us as being vulnerable to attack. And maybe with the battle warship, it could be someone like China. It could be someone like uh, Russia. Although I think there should be less of that, but I think this is saying no, this is they're going to be targeted. Trump doesn't care as long as he gets his. So there's some kind of I got this before when I was reading tonight, something about a cyber attack. But I feel like it might have a connection to a hostile nation. And there's something about a warship, battle warship. So, well, we just put that on the burner there. I think he's going to have a disappointing outcome where coercing and manipulating people are going to unfold. I don't quite think in this case that it's going to go to plan as much as he desired, because I think he's going to be interrupted. I get floods, heavy rain, and wreckage disaster. And I just feel like he's going to have a lot. He's going to be inundated with, I think, lawsuits and all the different matters of messes that he's been running around creating while he's out of his mind. Um, and yet not so out of his mind. I mean, he's needs to be held accountable. So this, I think he could create very impactful disasters here as well. And it's just one more thing of a reason to get at him out of our nation, period, out of being able to do anything. So he just brings disaster. Um, he is just creating chaos. Banking currency. I think he's looking to try to get into controlling perhaps the World Bank. Just a feeling, but that gets downgraded. Maybe it's that cryptocurrency crap. I think the cryptocurrency, yeah, gets downgraded. How much more down could it go? I think it's just saying people perhaps will really be put off by it. That's going to fail. I get imprisoned or detained. One can hope. Lies and deception. Well, he could end up because he's lied and he's done all this stuff. You get farming industry and a business tycoon. So the farmers here really not happy. They feel like he's a shadow ruler and that's caused an earthquake, a shakeup. I get security cameras and hiding something. This makes me feel like something Elon has tried to hide will be exposed, and indeed, perhaps even playable, visible, viewable. People will join forces because he's going to try to control a narrative. And I think some people that have something to lose will join his controlled narrative. We get future time and a rulership handover. He's counting on the future, I think, of taking over running America, being the king, whatever. He's thinking of when he could take over. And I think that's going to be exposed as part of what his plans were. There's also going to be, I believe, a change yet in who's ruling America, because I don't think it's going to be Trump um, coming in at a future time. And so there's some he's been planning that strategy for an outcome again, trying to work on the next set of elections, probably to cheat them as well. And until he can, I think, get himself, and he's planning on taking things by force. And we have mainstream news. Hmm. It's certainly controlling them. And it could also be that we're going to hear through the news that he was planning on, this is some of the things that's going to come out. We go into slighting and disclosure. I think that's being used as a carrot. We get public life and we get burnout. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think they're going to come through for people that hoped on that either. And if they do use it, it's as a distraction. He's just going to be in trouble. There's a rising water, a tsunami, and it's going to hit him. And I get big city. And he thinks he's too big, but I don't think so. He's built up enough trouble. I think it's going to level him. Compromised, harmful. And they're going to realize he's with the moon as well, that there's something that's unclear, that he's probably compromised, compromat. And he has that worldwide earth domination intention. AI tech, through using that. Foreign occupation and surprise attack. Who does he want to attack? It could be also that there'll be a surprise attack, maybe, um, hopefully not upon Ukraine, although they wouldn't be surprised necessarily to be attacked. But I think that it's going to be on Russia and there's going to be some kind of a surprise attack. I do. Foreign occupied. They're the ones that are foreign occupied, and he's all for that. But there's some kind of surprise attack. It's something maybe that Russia could do, maybe that Elon's not thinking of. I don't know. This is looking at again what's going to come up for him. And it's in connection to foreign occupation, Netanyahu as well could be one you could look at for that. Um, anyway, there's connection to a surprise attack in connection to foreign occupation. And I feel like it's the foreign occupier that gets the surprise attack. Fire, heat wave. So I feel like things will be on fire. Some kind of an attack will occur, I think, also because of Elon. And celebrate success. It'll be successful, something that's carried out. New rules, policies, laws. That's what they're trying to definitely bring about. And volcano mountains. Well, that's interesting. Well, we have had a lot of volcanic activity, not for nothing, but also these new rules, these new laws, which is like no law in some cases, are going to have a volcanic response. Is just disastrous. Also, anger to these things, to the changes that he's making. They're just it's so destructive. I get offering donation and surveillance record. I think that they're going to look through the records and see people, who's been supportive, looking at supporters, looking at people's records, information, who they voted for, donated to. That's going to come back on him. I get submarine underwater. Let's see what that's paired with. Duties, keep quiet. This makes me think about classified information. Big news. It's going to come out. I think he's going to be exposed. People just don't like him. And look at the robber baron outfit here. So many people and all the money that he's made off of so many people and their loss. That's what he's made. That's what the robber barons did. And that's what he is. Sure, I'm not. Okay. Okay, I've got a few more cards here. Politicians, government with support role. That he's involving, he is not an elected official, and he's being like a co ruler. That's going to come back and bite him on the butt. People will feel betrayed and backstabbed by Trump um, for doing this, those that supported him, and that it went against the greater good. Even they didn't listen, you know, their eyes are going to be opened. But in general, I think this is those of us just saying he's effing us over. Elon's not elected. He's acting like he's creating these laws and he's doing all this. He's doing too much. Shouldn't be doing anything. Spreading, mutating. This is to me the disinformation and just gaslighting. Unexpected results. This could also be with the lack of regulations in place, there could be problems. Unexpected results that are mortal, have a mortal consequence. Spreading, mutating, that makes me also concerned for the different diseases now, too. I don't know Elon connected to that, but there's going to be problems that they don't expect that come out from that just because, these people live in I think he lives in a ketamine bubble. Um, Social media, part of social media, that's that's got to be X because that's what he seems to do most days. Explosive situation. Again, his kingdom is X. It's his reality. And it's going to have an explosive one, apparently. Military action. Maybe he's going to try to order military action. And I see it with tornado winds. This is, again, a strong drive or a strong um, maybe ordering, maybe he's going to tell the military to go after people in a ruthless manner. That wouldn't surprise me. Also, energy weapon. This is worrisome. And health matter. To me, energy weapon, well, it could be like new weaponry, like what they've been using to make people ill, started out in Havana, Cuba. Could be a sound wave or an energy wave, radio, not radio necessarily, but waves, energy wave. That comes to mind. Could also refer to nuclear energy weapons. But I think he's been looking into perhaps the creating or being involved in that kind of weaponry. The money that goes into the military industrial complex looks like he wants to get some of that. And health matter. Yeah, because it does affect your health. It affects people's balance and headaches lifelong. People just like it's like chronic, somewhat like apparently the chronic COVID response. Yeah, there's like damage, it says cyclone damage. To me, this is like it's very significant damage that is done, and tension escalates. I think he could be making threats or saying things that are creating tension here. All of this, there's so much. It looks like will come up. And for creating distractions and illusions and underground in hiding. He might try and create a distraction before he would go off to hide, so he wouldn't be held accountable for anything. Resigns, leaves office, and heavy burdens. I think Trump will. may well have to resign or leave office. This could also be a way of saying he's going to have to leave his shenanigans in being co-ruler. It's going to he's going to get himself into too much trouble. So he might abandon Trump. I don't know. I can't imagine him doing that. But there's some kind of resign, leaves office. I can't ignore that. Heavy burdens. And there's going to be clarity with the sun. It says yes. And planned outcome. Maybe he's going to have Trump leave office. That's his plan, to have Trump leave office to make it become so too burdensome for him. I think that will get exposed that he wanted to take over. And that might be one thing for Trump that it might sit wrongly with him, even though he knows he's been bought. Uprooted, taken out. I do think he's going to have to, I do think Elon will be forced to leave. Um, Trains or transport, uprooted or taken out, have to leave in some way. We get fake news and it's paired with returns to normal. I think they're going to act like if they get rid of him, then everything's okay. Look, we did that. I get science breakthrough, controlled puppet. Maybe also this thing of the controlled, the people in office being puppets. And they might claim like they're getting breakthroughs and things like this, but I wouldn't, count on it necessarily. I think that's a lot of fake news. Pandemic, health crisis. Already, um, at my doctor's office, they were telling me that that the flu is more deadly even, and there's more things going around. Um, Even if it's not necessarily COVID, it still could be a problem for people. It can mutate. The flus can be worse. And with these bozos not putting in regulations the way they should, I think we will find ourselves with the health crisis here of some kind because there will be a significance with having RFK Jr. in there because he's a puppet and he's not really on things the way he should be. I think they're going to say that there's some kind of good outcome. I feel like there's some kind of false news they're creating where health concerns are, which I would never believe. Okay. So I just feel like this stuff is going to come out and he's going to be pushed out. Um, and it's going to take a lot. But I think it's going to come to him to feel like I don't want to be here. You know, his decision, so to speak, to leave. So I think him leaving before he ever thought he would is going to happen. And I think he will be exposed for a lot of stuff here. Um, he could, it did say in prison. Um, but I think he'll try to go into hiding. He should face prison. So, it just shows there's such a mess here. And I think at some point it's going to break down. And I think he's going to be pissed off and he's going to walk away from Trump and them. It becomes too much of a burden for him. And that's good. And that's going to create a change in the energy. So we'll leave this right here, this deep dive, and just watch and see what happens and continue to put the pressure on. The tide is changing where people are coming out of their shock and, like I said, getting into like a righteous indignation and anger out of necessity as well, and going to be on the streets protesting. Um, there's going to be more of this. So anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. And I think Elon is in a way going to bring some people together, and that's going to be pretty powerful in having him leave. So we'll see. All right. If you appreciate readings like this, please do give me a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video or live. Bye.